Caution, this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. Nigga, why are you here? I'm a goofy. Say you goofy. I'm a goofy. Now I got my camera out. Say you goofy. I'm gonna have to toast my shit. Nigga, why are you here? Nigga, why are you here? Hey, nigga, why are you here? I'm about to fucking kill myself because I can't get a job, nigga, why are you here? Inside the light was a bed with pure white sheets, a portable gaming system sitting by the pillow. Rows of academic books sitting on a shelf, like pink cosmos flowers sitting in a vase. The room was neat and organized. Nothing moved. It was a room where time had stopped. Near the window, where the sunlight shone through, there was someone small, sitting in a wheelchair. His back was to the window and he wasn't moving. His breathing was so gentle and deep that you wonder if he might be dead. His skin was wrinkled. His cheeks caved in. His eyes sank deep into his skull. He had no hair at all in his head. It's fucking Itadori if he had cancer. The shadow of the one calling himself Shogun stretched all the way to the room's door. For the first time the world moved. The door slowly opened and someone came from the dark hallway into the evening light. Rimi Sakihata stood at the entrance of the room. She didn't come in any further. The setting sun illuminated her face, revealing the tension in her expression. Let's just forget about all this, okay? I'm sorry, but that boy, Takumi Nishijo, you should get rid of him. Shogun didn't respond to her words at all. Why? Because he's dangerous. There was a sadness and pain in her voice. She may not have realized it, but there were tears in her eyes. Want me to get rid of him myself? No. Rimi couldn't tell if his lips were even moving. There's something I need him to do. Rimi's head slumped forward. Her hair fell forward along with it. She brushed it back with her fingers. For example, can you remember what happens in your dreams? Yeah. I see. I always forget right away. Some people can and some people can't. I'm sure the people who can are very romantic and sensitive. Why is she talking about me, Loki, eh? I have long dreams all the time. They seem to go on for years while I'm dreaming them. I was the same. I think I was anyway. But they're not real. Dreams only last for a few seconds in real time, they say. They appear and disappear within your mind like bubbles on the surface of water. So, wake up soon. If you don't someday, Takumi Nishijo is going to kill you. I wouldn't mind. I can't wake up from this dream. I need to see it through. After a dream's over, what's left? Someone softly shook my shoulders. It was a very hesitant shake, and after one time they quickly pulled away. Orihara? I'm sorry, Orihara kicked these niggas' asses? She's got a D-sword. Someone was peering into my face. At least that's what it felt like. I was slowly beginning to wake up. As I did, the pain came back to me. Something stunk bad. It was a raw scent, the scent of blood. Ugh. The area around my upper lip stung. There was a metallic taste all throughout my mouth. I slowly opened my eyes. I was in the alley I'd been in a moment ago. I was lying face down on the asphalt. Right in front of me was a pool of dark brown water that looked like it had been dripped out of a garbage bag. I winced at the awful stench and stood up. My whole body ached. The area around my face hurt the fucking most. It was hot and stinging, like someone brought a lighter right close to my face. There was a girl leaning right down next to me, looking at me like she was about to cry. It was just the transfer student, the girl who transferred into my class. What's her name again? Orihara? What was she doing here? There's something about her front-facing sprite that looks just way too much like fucking Yua's and Rimi's that'll like put me off for a second. She offered me something, my wallet. Why did she have it? I looked around, still feeling woozy. Oh, the three DQNs who were hassling me were lying on the ground covered in blood. What the hell had happened here? They'd gotten the crap kicked out of them. All their faces were so smashed in I could barely recognize them. Were they dead? They weren't moving at all. Was this the 7th Nugent incident? Who could have done this? Was it me? Did I do it? Transfer student stood up and beckoned me. Dude, can she like say words? Or is she just gonna fucking half cry? And make noises like that all the time. She kept looking at me, and then the 3 men of her eyes on the ground, tears forming in the corner of her eyes. And then suddenly she grabbed my hand and started to run. When we got out to Main Street, she finally let go. We hadn't run that far, but she was already exhausted. Oh, we both fell silent. Maybe she was like me, and not really good at talking to other people. No, that didn't matter right now. What was going on here? Those 3 DQNs had picked a fight with me and were beating me up. I must have passed out. I wonder how long I was lying there. Hey, something's a bit... About 5 minutes, Nora. So that was her. Okay, you know, last time we went... The cool... Red, so... What? There it is again, I was hearing it again. I thought that maybe... Now that she's not about to cry, she looks fucking... Stop looking at me with them big ol' eyes. Sure. I thought maybe somebody I knew was close or by talking to me, but I couldn't see anybody else around. Crap, why was I suddenly hearing things? You're not hearing things? You're not hearing things? It's me, Nora! I see, so it's a delusion then. So those blood-covered DQNs were probably a delusion too. It's not a delusion either! It's not a delusion either! It has to be an illusion, though. Just like Sedaton, the voice had to be coming from some new wife I'd made up for myself. Kosupi isn't your wife? Kosupi isn't your wife? And no cheating on me, Taki. I want to be the only one for you with my fucking nipple armor, and I'm fucking 17 years old. You dork ass nigga. Don't worry, Sedaton, you're still my wife. And anyway, I didn't recognize this kind of stupid sounding Kozupi character either. What? Stupid sounding? Stupid? But it's really not a hallucination. Okay, I'm done. But it's really not a hallucination or a delusion. So what is it then? Don't tell me she's a transfer student in front of me. She looks like she's trembling in terror. Ugh. She gave me a little nod. Huh? No way, that was just a coincidence, right? Or maybe she only looked like she nodded and I was mistaken. I'm telling you, Kozupi is Kozupi. That's impossible. There's no such thing as fucking telepathy, nigga. How can I make you believe me? What the hell does Unya mean? For some reason, the transfer student looked sad too. It was strange. Crap. This is getting aggravating. Fine, Kozupi, prove you're the transfer student. Prove it! Tell me your measure. Nishijo! You're a fucking pervert! So you can't answer, which means you are a delusion. Ah, Kozupi has never really taken our measurements. Okay, just the bust. Give me a general number. 67 centimeters. This is embarrassing, Nora. This conversation was taking place in my brain was so perverted. I was kind of freaking myself out. About 73. I was close. I was close. I took that number from fucking Nishijo Flower and fucking Uma Musume because, of course, the elementary school girl, her bust measurement, which they took her bust measurement. Okay. Okay, I can understand why for her race outfit, but why is it on her character profile? Because it's a Japanese game and they don't fucking care. That's why. And also, because whatever. Anyways, it's 6'7". I think that's funny because like 6'7". I just let little kids fucking. Here's how I felt with the glasses, bro. Say Urka's a savage. Somebody dead out, so many ashes. You can't catch that. I can't pass this. Shoot a stay strap. I don't need mine. Bro, put belt right today. Behind the way. That's what you. I know he died. 6'7". I just lit right on the highway. Anyway, so like, that's where I got 6'7" from. So I was close. I was only like what, fucking 7. I was only 6 off. 6 centimeters off. Does that mean she's not wearing a bra right now? Because I mean, if you really think about it, the only reason why, I mean, it's for support, and also if you have a large breast, then your nipples are bound to poke out. But if you have no fucking chest, then your nipples aren't really gonna poke out.
I'd like to apologize on his behalf. She's really speaking out of her ass.
I might be the bottom of the barrel niggas of all time. The transfer student did appear to be For some reason, the transfer student's face was bright red. Her tiny body seemed to get even smaller as she shrank back from me. It was just a coincidence. The voice and her reactions were linked, but it was just by chance. And anyways, that didn't prove— Nigga! I answered you though. But how would I know that the transfer student's bra size actually was though? If I told her to let me measure it, she would call the cops on me. Unya. Fine, what's your birthday? That's easy. November 13th. Well, I had no way of knowing if that shit was true either. If I was social enough to be capable of asking a girl I barely met what her birthday was, I would have had a girlfriend a long time ago. Suddenly, the transfer student started to rummage through her bag. She took out something and offered it to me. It was a student notebook and a brand one too. I flipped open to the front page with the birthday, and it says November 13th. No way. Come to think of it, this name, according to your student notebook, was Kozue Orihara. Kozue Kozupi. Don't tell me. I told you from the start, Nora. I'm Kozupi. So, this wasn't a delusion? So this voice was actually... Wait. So she was really saying that shit about how none of them niggas are shit? I mean, I know they're high schoolers, you know. I still primarily think with my amygdala and not the other part of my fucking brain, which I don't remember the name of. But what I'm saying is I'm not 25 yet. You know. I know they're high schoolers, but... Damn, really? A girl this sweet? Like, small? You know, she seems like delicate as a flower, and she's just talking about some damn, they're not fucking worth it, kill them all. In his head with her telepathy. Are you okay, Nishijo? Oh, and also, her having that fucking fawn mentality is also probably a part of why she owes 4 a.m., why she was beating them niggas' asses. Shaking. You're dripping! I touched my face. The area under my nose was wet. My nose had been bleeding. She took out a pack of tissues from her pocket. I used it to wipe away the blood. The transfer student. It's Kozupi, okay? Kozupi's mouth wasn't moving. She was speaking, so how could I hear her? It's the voice of my heart, Nora. Stop ending your sentences like that. It's weird when girls do it. I'm sorry. Wait, you can hear my thoughts too? I can. Why don't you talk normally? I'm embarrassed. I see, I understood how that felt. I was the same way. You know who this character is reminding me a lot of? Her gaze suddenly started back and forth like a fucking little animal. I added that fucking in there because I'm actually written by Bibsy Pop. Before glancing at me and walking off toward the station on her own. You should get away from here. Why, I followed, confused. As I walked, I realized something. There was a stabbing pain in my side. Each step I took ached so much I had to stop. I held my side and took a moment to catch my breath. There were so many people here. I hated Shibuya. It felt like everybody I passed was laughing at me. It felt like everybody was looking at me. It started to feel like everybody knew who I was. Don't look at me. Don't laugh at me. I need to rest somewhere without a lot of people around. I know just the place, Nora. Let me show you. Well, I did say I wanted more of Orihara. I only met Is she the psychopath? I only met Kozupi a few times at school, but now she was like a completely different person. Even though the real world was completely silent, in her mind she was... You just thought I was annoying, didn't you, Ubo? Whoa! Oh, whoa! It was so convenient to be able to talk to someone mentally, but it was also fucking obnoxious. And wait a second, how does this even work? Was it a real psychic power? You think Kozupi's creepy, don't you? I know this... I know this isn't normal. The fact that it's not normal doesn't really bother me. I've met a lot of weird people lately. And you might talk funny, but you're not scary or crazy, so you're a lot better than some of them. Saying that makes my eyes tear up, Nora. Kozupi suddenly started to cry as she walked. Surprised, I handed back the tissues. She wiped her hands with one of them, giving me a bow that was deeper than it needed to be. So anyway, having you read all my thoughts is creepy and uncomfortable, too. That's my honest opinion. Yeah. I'm sorry. But I hear people's thoughts even when I don't want to. Anya. Oh, Zupi. Anya. The pancakes, some fucking mini nigga. You couldn't tell. Is that true? It's true. Well, I'm sure you don't want to hear that from a creepy otaku like me, of course. I'm a creepy loser and totally worthless. That's not true. As I was starting to go back into depression mode, I heard Kozubi shout in my mind. Don't say that shit. It's so sad. She started crying again. Why are you crying? Are you pitying me? If so, then you don't need to do that. I'm such a weirdo. I make up girls in my head and pretend like they're real. Like Rimi. You mean Sakihara? You know her? She's in our class. She's your girlfriend, Nora. No, she's not. She's not? I was so sure she was. Kozupi knew Rimi. That could only mean one thing. Rimi was real. She wasn't a delusion. She wasn't somebody I invented in my head. She missed one day of school, nigga. Dude. Oh. Whew. Then why wouldn't she make any effort to contact me? Maybe she'd given up on me after what happened at Oak Run. Sakihara got really worried about something the day of the earthquake and left school early. She hasn't been back to school since then. Maybe something sad happened to her family. Oh, I felt so much better knowing that Rimi hadn't given up on me after all made me feel like I was really going to cry. I had a reason to go to school again. I wanted to see Rimi. Until she came back, I would keep myself going to school every day. Be careful, okay? I didn't say anything because I thought she was your girlfriend, but you should be careful around Sakihara. What does that mean? I don't really understand her, Nora. What does that mean, though? You don't understand her? You mean the crucified murder? Or are you talking about how all my memories of her being my classmate since her first year were missing? She was still mysterious in a lot of ways, sure, but she'd been there for me so many times. When I was scared, she'd offer to be by my side. She was my enemy. Yeah. For some reason, Kozuki looked dizzy. You'd think all those thoughts at once. Kozuki can't keep up. I'm sorry. It's kind of strange. When I was talking to people, I always had trouble getting out even a fifth of what I was trying to say. But talking like this might mean I have to work on not thinking too much. It was probably the same for Kozuki. I didn't think she talked so much in her mind. It doesn't feel like I'm talking though. It's just thinking, and instead of listening, I go beep beep, and they go nip. If you're not used to it, your thoughts and their thoughts get mixed up, and then you go, Hanya. Hanya. I'm never doing that again. Please to speak Japanese, K thanks. I mean, I kind of get the nuance, but I guess what she meant is that there are more subtle points to the conversation. If you never have to worry about being too scared about what the other person would think, not being able to say what you wanted to say, you couldn't try to read the room if every single thought you had was being shared. It wasn't one-way communication. Maybe it wasn't two-way communication either. Maybe it was like trying to focus on one out of a million things at once and ignoring the rest. And so it's easy, and you really feel close to people, but it's easy to get hurt. She frowned for a moment, and then an expression appeared on her face that was halfway between a smile and a sob. It's your first time, Nishijo, but you're really good at this. Kosupi and you have the same beep beep beep. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. She's saying we were on the same wavelength. Yep, wavelength, that's right. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm not thinking of doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm more thinking of doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Well, I was always having similar conversations with Sedaton in my head. Maybe that's why. Oh, but you're really scary then, Nishijo. B. Then, this morning in the classroom, crap, come to think of it, I had had some really weird, nasty delusions. So I went Fia and actually decided to talk to you, Nora. Usually, I try to make sure that nobody finds out about my power. No, I was in a bad place then. Well, it was just a delusion. Yeah, most people would find that disgusting. If you actually had done any of that stuff, Kosuke would have killed you. And I believe that she could do it too. Huh? Gap between her tone and her words made me shiver. Why are so many people just comfortable telling this nigga, if you tweak out, I will fucking end your existence? Takumi, if you come to Montana, you will become a campfire story. Los, if you step foot in Shibuya. Los, if you step foot in Shibuya, the only person who will remember you. Los, if you step foot in Shibuya, you will become one of Takumi Nishijo's delusions.
Los, if you come to Shibuya, you will become a victim of the new generation madness.
We walked through Center Street silently. talking to each other. And the thing is the way they're saying it, I'm not thinking, it's not like I will plan out a murder on you way. It's more of a spur of the moment. I have a power. You will be fucking eviscerated. The way Yua and Orihara say it, it's less of a I will get you in a back alley and fucking stab you in the spine and you can't do shit anymore and you'll die. It's a I will eviscerate you in the moment that you try to do some shit. Which makes it like so much more impactful. I said that really weird. But like she's supposed to be like this delicate flower and then she has the mind reading, and she talks in a very specific way. So when she says I would have killed you, and it feels invasive. It feels like it feels like he's being judged for things that he never really wanted to do. It's invasive, but she can't control it. It's not like she's trying to fucking listen to him and his murderous intent for being pissed at being bullied. Also, why the fuck did she say any of that to him? If she planned on fucking turning him into a campfire story if he picked up a chair and went to go beat a nigga's ass with it. If you didn't know the truth, you might think from the way that we were walking along silently, without really looking at each other, that we were a couple that just started dating. Kozuki let out a gasp. Her eyes went wide as she looked up at me. Couple? No, it's just hypothetical. Mimiko, yeah, again, Nora. I thought you were telling me you were in love with me.
I am.
Sorry. It's hard to fucking, when somebody can hear your every thought. It was probably best to keep my delusions to a minimum when talking to Kosuke. I want to ask about when you were on TV last week. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. You don't know that. Kosuke was down there below you that night. Below? In Scramble Crossing, in front of the turnstiles at the Hachiko exit. I was passing through right when it happened. I could hear a voice the whole time. It was your voice. It said, I want to save Nanami. I have to save her. I heard it. My thoughts carried that far? That was a pretty big distance between the fucking ZJs, between the roof of the Ofra and the turnstiles at the station. Your feelings were just that strong. So you would know then. You know I wasn't up there pretending to be a psychic for attention. Yeah, so you're not worthless. Okay, you gotta put comma. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, okay, you've got to put commas in between those, because it doesn't work like that. She can't say not without commas, because then instead of it being an amplifier, it's a triple negative, which just goes back to being not. Not would mean that he is, and then not means that he's not worthless, so yeah, there's nothing to fuck, whatever. But in the end, I failed. I chose to run away from my own and save my own life instead of saving hers. I ran away at the last minute. Kozupi stopped right in front of the Roth building. She pointed at the entrance and looked at me. This was evidently the place she wanted me to take me. Roth was a store that sold cosmetics, kitchenware, and little knickknacks, and fucking probably minstrel dolls too. Big, red-lipped, darker than Donkey Kong background fucking dolls. It was a cramped space that was filled with people. My legs were shaking. The cheers and angry yells I'd heard that night in Scramble Crossing started to echo in my head. I didn't want to go anywhere with so many people around. If I went inside Roth, there'd be nowhere to run. It'll be okay. It'll all be okay. She ignored my fear and headed inside. I had no choice but to quickly follow, trying my best to not look at the other people around me. When we got up the escalator, Kozupi turned around to look at me. She was a step above me, but she was so tiny we were about the same height. Nanami's safe though, right? If she is, it's because of you. I hadn't been the one to save her. I hadn't really done anything. You were reaching out off the roof, weren't you? What were you trying to do? Were you trying to hop off and fucking fly or some shit? No, I was trying to get a sword. It's made out of illusions, and I could see it from up there on the roof. A D-sword? Knew it. Yeah, that's right. They said if I stretched out my hand, I could grab it, but it didn't work. Huh. How? I suddenly shouted aloud. Couple on the escalator opposite us glared at me. I quickly put my hand over my mouth. Kozupi, how do you know about the D-swords? Because I have one, nigga. Fucking who would have fucking guessed? She has a fucking CG. She has a CG, and she's not Misumi or Nanami. She has a fucking D-sword. Nanami has a D-sword too. Nanami will get a D-sword at the fucking very least. I mean, they all have one on the fucking cover art or the big banner art of the game where they're all standing there. They all have one. If you have a CG and you're not Misumi, you have a fucking D-sword. With the with the couple other exceptions, but Misumi rhymes with CG. Kozubi has one. Huh? We got off the escalator at the 5th floor, and Kozubi casually raised her right hand above her head. It was like she was trying to block out the brightness of the sun. We're doing this here? Suddenly, a light appeared in midair next to her hand. No, it wasn't a light, it was a line. You could say it looked like a wireframe. Rays of light overlapped in what had only a moment ago been empty space, forming something that looked like a snowboard. Then rays of blue light, brighter than the rays of the wireframe, streamed out of it. Kozupi closed her open hand. That fucking thing is giant. What had been a wireframe instead became a cold, heavy. She was not fucking joking when she said if he picked up that chair, she was going to kill him. She would have eviscerated it. I'm telling you, these girls can eviscerate you. And that's what makes it cool. That's what makes it so much better. You think of it as like they're exaggerating, or if they really plan on killing him, it'll be like sheer anger, sloppy, something realistic. But no, this girl would have picked this shit up. Boom, boom, just boom, 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 boom. There's fucking nothing left of him but little Takumis, little fucking Takumi confetti. This nigga just said, I guess that's it. Shit is blowing everywhere. Fucking like someone had pasted textures on it. A D-sword. Look completely different than the ones I say and Senna had. But okay, I know usually I fucking flip-flop, but I'm gonna go for green here. It was far too malevolent to be a simple board, and far too unadorned to be a sword. It combined an innocent curiosity with instructive beauty. Wow. She held it above her like it weighed nothing at all. Uh-oh, she can read our fucking mind. Where could she be keeping so much power in her tiny body? It had to weigh more than 5 nigograms by my estimate. Why did I even say that? Kozupi must have read my doubts because she turned towards me and gave me a hesitant smile. Kozupi is an android made just to protect you, Nora? Huh? Did you just say android? What anime is that from? Kozupi ignored my shock and made a cute little fist with one hand. You're safe now, Takumi. I'll beat up all the bad guys who are after you, Nora. Also, I have maid functions. I can't see the text on my computer right now, but I can't read that right now, but I am very disappointed because I read it before I took the glass off. I'm very disappointed. He was doing so good, and I did make the sandwich. I did go for the option that usually has lovey-dovey shit where he says some fuckery about wanting to have sex, and we see panties like the time he got a foot job, or the time I actually made it red and then he tried to rape Senna in his mind. But right next to a girl that you can read your mind, dude. Really, we're doing this shit? Come on, dog. I asked my question hesitantly. Only after I spoke did I realize how ridiculous the question it was. As if I was wondering whether to apologize, Kosupi's cheeks flushed. Yes. Huh? I can do naughty things too. I'll do my best to serve you in bed. Oh, dude. Fuck off, man. It's fucking 5 a.m. It's 4 a.m. It's 4:20, smoke weed every day a.m. And this nigga fucking Takumi Nishijo talking about some damn can I fuck you in his delusion of a girl who can read his mind. She's gonna be pissed when we end this. Yes, I had a combat maid that could service me at night. You live in a... The one thing that makes me the most mad, I wouldn't even be mad about his delusions if he wasn't a loser. Like, if these weren't a reflection of who he really was, it wouldn't be that bad. But this nigga is gonna act like this. He's gonna think this shit in his head, and then go home to his moldy horn mildew, no air circulation, door closed all the fucking time, storage unit, because it's just a fucking shipping container that he lives in. He keeps all his porn on his fucking bed, and so he has to sleep on the couch, fucking a murder weapon, a severed hand, and piles and piles of fucking garbage all over the floor. And he goes back to that, doesn't clean it up, doesn't fucking put his porn away somewhere so it's not just out in the open, doesn't leave the door open so I can fucking circulate and get some air, doesn't fucking one of those sprayers of anti-mold. He just sits there. He goes back to that filth every fucking day. He sits here, he does this shit, and he goes back to this. If this wasn't his true self, these delusions, honestly, wouldn't be that bad. But hey, at least it's not fucking Rudius Grey Rat allowing himself to be raped by Eris because he was gonna crack anyways as soon as she turned 18 because he's fucking low tier god. Just like in H game. Talk about coming loaded with options. Japan's technology is the best in the world. I wish that the delusion ended with her saying, I'm American. Or like, I'm Vietnamese, I'm Chinese, I'm made from overseas. I was developed overseas. British. I wish the android version of herself in his head had said, I was developed overseas. And he said, what? And it just cut. She wasn't making any effort to hide the weapon at all. Senna had been the same way. She'd been carrying her fucking gigantic... Okay, you can tell it's like 4 a.m. because I'm not stopping saying fuck. Her gigantic D-sword down the middle of Shibuya without any regard for the people around her. They didn't seem to care that other people might stare. Both Senna and Kozupi had something very wrong with them. So I remember the smell of blood. I remember how I'd seen those DQNs lying in puddles of their own blood. Anybody who do something so mean deserves to die. So Takumi deserves to die because those niggas were bullying him. They also deserve... Okay, so she's just Typhon. She's just Typhon. And what I mean by that is she's like... has a very childish black and white sense of justice. Those guys, she probably didn't kill them, but they deserve to die for being assholes. If Takumi had fucking attacked those dudes since they had only verbally harassed him, then he would deserve to die for being able to go through with something so violent on the drop of a hat. And she told him that they don't deserve their lives because they're assholes and probably have physically bullied somebody before. Nope. Not that they're worth keeping alive, though. Like I said, those roach people. Roach. Cockroaches. I wish I could have killed them. I could tell exactly how her heart was feeling, which is... Okay, new favorite character right here. You might be the best girl out of them all. And you fucking match up with Rimi and Yua for my spot at fucking #1. You do have a bit of a rough introduction, though, because you do nothing but fucking make crying noises for 2 full fucking chapters. There wasn't any malice inside of her. As far as she was concerned, she was just giving bad people what they deserve. There was nothing wrong with that at all. Typhon. Like fucking the witch of pride. Shibuya's been even more dangerous than usual lately. Yesterday, a bunch of roach people tried to kidnap me. So I went kerthwack, right in their faces. Nora? She might be twisted too in a different way than me. Nishijo, this way. Wait, so she didn't react to his fucking delusion there at all. I would expect her to at least be like slightly pissed about, do you have erotic functions? Also, I'm glad, but surprised that there wasn't a panty shot there. Like, if this had been Rimi or Yua or Senna or Ayase, there would have been a panty shot there. And, you know, I'm glad that they had the restraint to not make the fucking flat-chested, most childlike high school girl not have her underwear be exposed. But if there's probably a delusion with her, a CG with her where her fucking underwear is showing, whatever. She was tiny with thin arms. She looked so weak, and yet she didn't struggle at all with a heavy-looking weapon. Many times the blade came close to slamming into a shelf or a shopper. Each time I covered my eyes, but miraculously it didn't hit anyone. These things are like fucking the Yang sword. They cut what you want them to cut, and they don't burn anything, but you get what I mean. They cut what you want them to cut. If you don't want them to cut it, it'll just pass through. I was dimly lit, and unlike the rest of the floor we were on, there was nobody here at all. Nobody came by either. You're about to get your dick sucked on the fucking stairs. You happy? It was shocking to me that just 5 minutes from Shibuya Station, and inside the Roth Building was one of the most famous stores in Japan, there was a space that could be this empty. It's not just Roth. Nobody ever uses the stairs in a department store. I'd lived in Shibuya for almost 2 years and didn't know that. How'd she'd figure it out in just a few weeks? Kosupi's been walking around Shibuya ever since she came to Tokyo. That's how I found this place. It's my own little rest stop. Kosupi sat down on the steps, clearly in a good mood. She casually set the D-sword down. Shouldn't you sheath it? You don't need it. You can draw that bitch whenever you really want it. It's not like he's gonna do anything. He's fucking as a fake demon, and he also... Takumi actually, really, despite being a loser, he values consent. You know, he might think about you inappropriately, but he'll never fucking try to force himself on a woman. Ever. That one specific time where it was an evil thought doesn't count, because that was an intrusive thought, and he definitely wasn't enjoying every second of his rape fantasy. He values consent. My point being, why do you have the D-sword out still? The pain on my side was getting too much for me to bear, so I decided to take a rest. And so when you look at patterns and scenery and stuff, do they ever look like something different? Like elephants or lions? The one that made me go, whoa, was when I almost saw a Japanese giant salamander. What's she talking about? About the D-sword, well, Say you're looking at a pattern at some scenery or something, and you'll see animals or other shapes. Oh yeah, I'd seen that before. Tried something like that at the top of the O front building and succeeded. I'd seen the D sword blended in with the scenery. Yep, that's right. The first time Kozupi saw it was when Hampompon died. Hampompon, a penguin. The hamster, oh, it's a fucking hamster. I was just like bullshitting, saying like, oh, the penguin. So I was trying to like fucking throw out that it could possibly be like an actual real life famous animal, but nope, it's just a hamster she had. I want to make a grave for him, so I went out to the riverbank, but I forgot my shovel and I couldn't dig his grave. So I went Fumya and cried a lot. Then I saw a shape of a sword in the sky, and after that I started seeing a lot of places. How did you get it, though? I found it, but I couldn't grab it. No matter how much I reached out, I couldn't touch it or grab it. I just wished. You wished to get the sword. Josephine looked at me softly, shaking her head. Nope. My wish was to kill. Huh? I could hear the voice of her mind clearly within my own. I hadn't mistaken it. I'd heard exactly what she said. My wish was to kill. She said it with a smile, too. The stairs leading up from the 5th floor of the Roth building to the 6th floor were very quiet. You could only faintly hear the music coming from the shops. She didn't say a word, and neither did I. I could hear somebody's breath loudly in my ears. Was it hers? No, it was mine. A staircase where nobody came. Blind spot in the dead center of Shibuya, an air pocket. I gulped down saliva to wet my suddenly parched throat. I wished, and then I looked way up into the sky, and I could see a sword. But I didn't think it was a sword until then. I thought it was just kind of a big clangy thing. Clanker. I wonder if I could kill them if I went bang with it. And I reached out my hand, and there goes that demon in a fucking crater. Then what happened? What did you do? I tried to kill them, but I couldn't. Kozupi wasn't strong enough to do more than half kill them. Who's them? I'm not broken. I've got the sword right here. She was gazing lovingly at the sword next to her. Maybe I couldn't get the D-sword unless I was broken too. Wait, did this mean I wasn't broken already? When is this chapter gonna end so I can go to bed? I used to think the sword was so scary. That's what she thought until she came to Tokyo. But now she felt differently. Now it was something precious, something very important to her. As long as she had the sword, there was nothing to be scared of. The sword would protect her. The sword was her heart, was her other self, was her persona. It was about 3 weeks ago that she changed her mind. Kozue always had the power to hear what other people were thinking. She couldn't remember any more when she first realized she had it. She thought she'd gone crazy or that she was sick. In her own childish way, she thought that she couldn't let anybody find out. She hadn't told anybody, not even her parents. Because of her powers, she couldn't make any friends. It created a rift between her and her family, too. All the people around her started to think she was creepy, that her intuition was a little too good. Even after coming to Shibuya, she'd been scared to go to school. She just hadn't wanted to talk to anybody. She thought they'd just find her creepy again. First day she was supposed to go to school, and even the day after that, she skipped school and spent the day wandering around Shibuya instead. She knew the school must have contacted her parents. They must have known Kozue wasn't going, but the two of them didn't say anything to her at all. Kozue looked young enough to be mistaken for a middle schooler. And yet, unlike back home in the countryside, nobody stopped her when she was out in the middle of Yortehie. She'd spent days wandering around Shibuya. She'd found a little peaceful spot on the Roth stairwell, and every day she'd go up there to sit. One day she'd spent almost 4 hours there until the sun finally began to set. Then she'd left Roth to go home. Raindrops were pouring from the dull gray sky. She hadn't brought an umbrella, but she neither looked up at the sky nor seemed to care about getting wet. She simply headed home through the rain on unsteady feet, and she saw something in the corner at the top of her eye. It was a sign that read, "The end is near." The handwritten text was blurring in the rain. Hiding the billboard was a homeless man sitting unobtrusively on the side of the road in the middle of the pouring rain. His head was slumped forward. She couldn't see his expression. He might have been dead. The way he looked reminded her of how she looked sitting in a rough stairwell. She stopped. "I like that outfit." For a moment she hesitated. "That dress is really cute." She'd never met this man and had never even seen a homeless person until she came to Tokyo. He looked repulsive. She was scared that if she talked to him, something horrible might happen to her. There was another desire that won out over her fear, a desire to kill him. Such a sudden, strong impulse that she thought if she obeyed it, she might be able to kill herself too. Why the fuck is she like this, dude? This nigga didn't even do anything. She's really just like that. Okay. She's not even just Typhon. She's just murderous. But I guess Typhon was moving around with a murderous intent for niggas who she didn't even know if they did anything bad or not. She just went, "Are you a sinner?" And if they believed they were, they would die painfully. And if they were a sinner but didn't believe that they were that evil, then they would die unpainfully. It's like Orihara here. Typhon has a murderous intent for no fucking reason at all. And dishes out, well, okay, it's black and white justice, but also like this dude didn't do anything wrong except for be homeless. So Orihara is conservative and is feeding into the pipeline. Which, to be fair, she's Japanese and fucking literally any year. Like, the Conservative Party has only not controlled Japan since post World War II, I think. Well, for a long time. For only 1 year were they not in majority control of parliament, of Japanese fucking parliament. I'm just gonna call it that. And it was during a financial crisis. Also, they like Shinzo Abe did some Richard Nixon level shit, and he got fucking reelected and then assassinated. I'm sleepy. So after a short moment's hesitation, she spoke with him with the voice in her mind. "Is the world going to end?" Suddenly his shoulders twitched. He wasn't dead after all. He slowly raised his head. His cloudy eyes peered through his soaked hair as he looked up at her. "Yeah, it's gonna end." Buzway's eyes went a little wide with surprise, not being told that the world would end, but at a fact that the man replied to her. She hadn't expected a reply. Most people she spoke to like this either tried to convince themselves they were hearing things, or got scared and quickly left. Even if she did succeed in communicating with somebody, it was hard for them to send back such a straightforward, understandable reply. Doing so was difficult. Human thought was so disordered and random. But the man hadn't seemed surprised at all. Instead, he'd given her a short, simple answer. Through his voice, she could feel a deep sadness filling his heart. His heart was crying. That's how it felt to her. "You have a sword, don't you?" "How do you know?" "I know other children like you." She put her hand above her head and summoned her D-sword. She pointed a blade at him. "Can't you see this sword?" "I can't." "Then how do you know?" "Because I'm a bad man." He's a fucking porter that quit. "Sorry." "Why are you apologizing?" "It's my fault." Why is it
おじ
your
さんの
fault?
せいなの？
忠告しかでき
Because
ない
all I
か
can do is warn others.
動き出してしまった
Because
か
it started.
も
Because there's
うお
nothing
じ
I
さ
can
ん
do
に
to
は止
stop
める
it.
術がないから。
じゃあ
So,
おじ
Kosupi
さんを
kills
殺
you.
せば
Doesn't that mean she
コ
won't
ズ
be a
ピー
bad
は悪く
anymore?
なくなるの？
その剣は
That sword can kill you
君
and
を
it can
殺す
protect
者
you.
にも守るも思い出してごらん。
Try to remember.
空を見れば雲
When you look up at the sky, you see the clouds.
川を見れば
When you
流
look
れ
at the river, you see the flow of the water.
そこにあったはず。
They're always there.
それと同じこと。
This is the same.
その剣は
The
い
sword
つ
was
も
always
君の
with
そば
you.
にあった。自分自身の心を
Look
見
into
て
your
ごらん。
heart.
そこにあるのが
Sword
その
is what
剣
you'll
なの。
find there.
でも
But it
殺
came to
し
me
た
when I
いって
wished to
願っ
kill.
たらこれが手もこの剣は
Isn't the
コ
sword
ズピー
supposed to
と
kill
コ
me
ズピー
and
の
all the
周囲に
people
ある
around me?
あらゆるものを殺すためのものじゃない
Why
の？
is she so suicidal?
負の感情は
It's wrong to
否定
deny
さ
your
れるも
negative
のじゃない。
feelings.
人が誰しも持つもの
Every person has them.
特別じゃないんだ。
You're
ど
not
う
special.
向き合うか。
It's how you choose to face them.
目をそらしてはいけ
You
ない。
can't look away.
自分を否定しては
You
いけな
can't
い。
deny who you are.
世界は
The
共
world
存。
is a reflection in the mirror.
君の心の中
What's
に
positive in your heart
同時に負となり
may
得る
also be negative.
その逆もまた
And the opposite is true
世
too.
界が終わるの
Whether the world ends or continues to live
は
on,
君たちだけなん
it's
だ。
up to you children to decide. In the end, she hadn't killed the man. The desire to do so receded as they spoke. She didn't understand what the man was trying to say, but she thought and thought as hard as she could and finally reached a conclusion. The sword was her. She'd looked at it without denying it and had saved her. That's why she'd come to depend on it in her own pure-hearted way. Something in Kozupi's story made me curious. Who was that man? A homeless man with a big sign. Felt like I'd seen him a few times before too. They the same person? What I couldn't figure out is how the guy knew about the D swords. Maybe the D swords were famous in Japan and I just didn't know it. No, there was no way. Looked over at Kozupi. Her expression was so calm and peaceful. It was hard to believe that she'd been talking about killing people a moment ago. She ran her fingers softly along the surface of the D sword.
そういえば
Actually, he said something else before I just left.
君たちは特別
You're
な
all
存在。
special.
中でも一番
But
特
the
別
most special of you of
なのは
all
その目。
is the boy who coined the phrase,
産み落と
Whose
した
eyes
少
are
年らしいんだ
those?
って。
That's what he said. I was stunned. What did that mean? Nishicho, do you know what he meant?
いや、
Huh?
別に。
No.
嘘ら。
You're lying. Your mind's telling the
正直なん
truth.
だよ。
Just now, you were thinking that you knew exactly what he
もの
meant.
すごく
Fuck, it's hard when somebody knows your every thought.
なんか
Your face looks really scary.
その目
Were you the one who first thought up whose eyes are
西
those?
条くんが最初に考えた
Bit
の。
my lip and stood up. I pulled out the tissues I'd stuffed in my nose. The blood had stopped. Kozupi was looking up at me
どこ
confused.
へ？
Where are you going? I'm going home. My side still hurt, but I walked down the stairs instead of using the escalator or the elevator. That way I was able to avoid the crowds on my way out. Kozupi had followed me suddenly at a distance, looking like she was about to cry.
コズピ
Did Kozupi say something to make you angry?
言ったかな？
I ignored Kozupi's question and tried my hardest to think. This homeless man that Kozupi has met, what was he working with? Was he working with Shogun? Otherwise, why would he bring up whose eyes are those? Who was the boy they were talking about who created whose eyes are those? Me? No, that couldn't be right. I wasn't a special boy. I wasn't a hero. I couldn't even get a D sword. I wanted to be an ordinary person, an NPC even. I never wanted to go through anything like what happened at Ofront again. But who was he talking about? I can only think of one possibility. The true new Gen Killer Shogun. He might have looked like an old man, but he had a voice and a figure of a young boy. There was something clearly weird about him, too. He was special. Two of the 6 Nugent cases that hadn't followed the message. Whose eyes are those? It was a phrase I only ever used in my head. What could this seemingly innocuous phrase mean? It did hurt me. It did hide the reason that Shogun was after me. Should I try looking for that homeless man? He should be somewhere in the city. Probably still carrying the sign with the weird message on it, too.